I'm Rob Sanchas, and this is my presentation on leisure activities for people who are blind or visually impaired. Alright, the first thing you need to know about surfing is the board. Now the surfboard, you start at the top, and that's the nose. The nose is rounded, so you can identify it. As you move down the surface of the board, which is called the deck, you will find on their surfboards they have a handle here in the center, which helps you orientate your position on the board. On the sides, which are called the rails, it's reinforced. And as you get to the tail, which is the bottom or the back of the surfboard, you can notice it is flat or cut off. That's easier to identify for those who can't see. As you flip over to the bottom of the surfboard, under the tail you have fins. This surfboard has 3 fins. The fins are designed to help you keep your direction, so you're going straight and you're not just flip-flopping all over. Now, when you're surfing, there is so many different types of boards. For instance, this is a 9-foot board, and this is a 12-foot board. I prefer the 12-foot board because there's a larger deck that I can work with. It's more stable and easier to work with for someone, especially with a visually impaired, that is visually impaired, to control on the waves. You need less wave to move a larger board. When you're on the water, you get on the board, your instructor will stabilize the board so you can climb on, and as you get on, you're going to want to make sure you're positioned correctly. For this board and someone my size, I know that the handle grip here should be aligned with my chin. That's how I know I'm properly positioned on this board. Everyone is different size, so it's different, and you will have to figure that out when you first get on your board. But that's why you have an instructor and you have a water crew, a team of people to assist you, ensure you're safe. You won't be in deep water when you're testing it out because that's unsafe. Now, as you're on the board, your instructor and your water team, they will pull you out to the right depth, usually waist deep, maybe a chest deep, from where you're gonna start and you'll surf in. Now, there's 3 positions you need to know for riding the waves. One is prone, which is you just lying there and enjoying the ride. 2 would be on your knees, where you get on your knees and you position and you have more stability. And this is good when you're first learning because you get used to the way the board works with the waves. And once you get more comfortable, then you get to 3. 3 is when you're standing, and as you're standing, you always have to be careful. Some people have a tendency to move towards the tail, which takes the nose up. Some people can see the horizon, some can't. But the way our body works, usually the direction your head is facing is the way the rest of your body automatically turns. So you want to try to keep your head facing the nose of the board in the direction you're going towards the shore, and that way your body will align itself to keep the balance and make sure you go in the right direction. Now, since some people cannot see the shore, you can tell by the sounds of the waves. You want the waves crashing behind you. So if you hear the waves behind you, you know your nose is facing the shore. You start turning without knowing it because you're listening to something caught your attention, and you accidentally start shifting the board. They can say, you're going left, you need to go right, so I know to turn my head to the right, which will automatically help me align my body and get me back on course. So now we're heading out And as you can tell, I line myself up to the position I know, and as the waves are coming in, the instructor will raise the board so the nose will go over the wave and it'll be easier for me to work. Now if it's a big wave, then I might have to lean up if the wave's gonna come into my face. Sometimes when you're first learning, you're not 100% secure with it. So you might do a tandem ride, as we are doing right now, with the instructor, where they will guide in the surfboard all the way in safely, and you just go along for the ride. And they'll control the board the whole time, so you'll feel safe and secure, and you can have a great ride. Yes, go ahead. That was an excellent run. As you can see, after you get up and you surf, as you're coming in and you can tell there's no more power pushing you, you know you're near the shore, you don't just walk off the board. You get back down to your knees, then you get back down to your stomach, and then you get off sideways. And it should always be about safety whenever you're surfing.
Keep going and shift.
When you're in the water, as I said, about waist deep, and you're going to mount the board. The nose is facing out, the tail is facing the shoreline. You want to be centered in the board, as I mentioned. That's where the handle is, so I know the center. So you are one hand in the center, one hand balanced halfway between the center and the tail. You'll hop up and then spin. And that, as you can see, I am level. If I'm too far on one or the other side, my surfboard will tip over.
Start paddling. Paddle, 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 paddle. Ship, ship.
As you see, I'm in bright orange. When we go to an area, we're going to surf, and we will inform the people in the area that I'm visually impaired. I wear the orange so they can see me, and to know that if I'm cutting them off or heading towards them, it's unintentional because I cannot see them.
Stop, keep going, keep going. Paddle hard, head down, feet up. Go, paddle, 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 paddle. And you got it.
And the most important is the vocabulary. You do not want to use words like go because it's too close to no, and that can be confusing. If somebody doesn't understand correctly, they might be thinking you're saying no, or when you're saying no, they might be thinking you're saying go. So some of the key words they use is paddle. The instructor will say paddle, so they want you to start getting ready. So you start paddling to catch the wave. They'll say shift, that means time to get ready to shift your weight, to get ready to get up. And you want to shift your weight towards the back, that way you can ease it forward to level yourself out.
Paddle, 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 paddle. Shift. And back down. And off.
The reason I get off on the right side is because I need the waves behind me. The board is between me and the waves. The board will flip over into me, which it can be dangerous and cause injuries.
Keep paddle, 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 paddle. Stand up. Shift, shift. And back down. And go on the right side. Perfect. Any comments?
It's just an amazing day.
Go up. Okay, back down. This time get up on the left side. Right. Good job.
Every time you go surfing, it can be different. The way the waves are, the water itself. Today, I have to be a little farther forward than I normally am.
Paddle hard, paddle hard. Paddle, 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 paddle. And shift. Paddle. And shift. Paddle, 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 paddle. You got it. Go. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And you can get back down and get off on the right side. There you go.
In summary, knowing about your board, the vocabulary is wonderful. You need to know that, but it's most important to be in sync with your instructor. They need to know what you can and can't do, what you want to be able to do, what you want to learn. Most important thing is to have fun. The best surfer is the one that has the most fun.